Do you stop yourself from moving forwards in your life? And do you notice in a certain situation that when you start to make progress around the same time in the process, something happens and it makes you grind to a halt? It could be self-sabotage at work. And if this sounds familiar, keep watching, because I'm going to explain how and why we may self-sabotage and what to do to stop. For the best tips, tools and advice on how to manage your mindset for a calmer, more confident and happier life, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a new video, which is every Friday. I'm Becca Tears, and I'm an author and a mindset management therapist and a hypnotherapist. And in my work, I've helped many people to identify self-sabotage and to break the cycle. And I made this video to help you too. And hang on right until the end, because at the end I'm going to share with you a special bonus which I've created, a free gift for you that's going to help you to take action, to feel more confident and to break that cycle of self-sabotage. So please hang on right until the end. So why do we self-sabotage? Nearly always there's a subconscious block or belief that's being held there, and consciously you might want to achieve something, but if there's a subconscious contradictory belief or fear, then nearly always when you're making progress towards achieving that goal, nearly always you'll find some sort of reason to stop. And you may say, yeah, but the reason I stopped was out of my control. But was it really out of your control? Often we're getting in our own way, and we self-sabotage in different areas of our life. Maybe it's in relationships, maybe it's in our careers or our businesses, maybe it's with money, with health, with changing habits. So it can happen in all different areas of our lives. So here are some of the reasons that we may self-sabotage and some of the different areas in our lives that I've come across. So the first fear there, first sort of subconscious block, could be a fear of success. Now with a fear of success is, if I'm successful, then I'm exposed to other people's judgments of me. They may reject me, they may criticize me. And also, you're putting yourself out there and exposing yourself to other people's opinions, which can be quite scary. So that could be a reason for fear of success. Another reason for fear of success could be that you're worried about others in your life, and perhaps they may be insecure, or they may be jealous, or they may feel uncertain of their place with you if you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Also, imposter syndrome can come in here, where you're sort of aware that you have the capabilities to do a certain position, a job that you've been given, but deep down there's a real fear that actually you can't do it and you're not worthy of this position. And imposter syndrome really affects people, high achievers and people that are achieving good things in their lives, but often deep down they feel that they don't really deserve it. They feel that it's just sort of luck that they've got to where they've got to, or they were in the right place at the right time. Also, with a fear of success, it could be just a feeling that you're not worthy of success in some way. And or maybe you're worthy of success, but just a certain amount of success, not too much. And if it is a fear around others in your life, feeling insecure with your success, maybe there's an underlying feeling or belief that if you're successful, you'll be alone. If you do have a fear of success, if you sort of identify this as one of your patterns, then just ask yourself, what are you afraid of losing if you are successful? Is it, your time? Is it control? Maybe, being out of your comfort zone? Or maybe it's the people in your life. What is it that you're really worried about losing? And just ask yourself that. If you notice that in relationships you tend to mess things up or sabotage them, maybe it's that you have a fear of being rejected or hurt, and you may sort of not want a relationship at all and avoid having a relationship. Or it may be that when you get closer to that person, your fear starts to kick in, and you might mess up the relationship. You might sabotage it by, I don't know, being critical, being unfaithful, being argumentative, or maybe it's, being needy and sort of being a little bit too clingy. So that's how that can play out also in relationships. Also, we can sabotage our sort of financial lives as well, which is a really interesting subject where limiting beliefs are concerned with money. And I made a video on this here, so watch this video also about limiting beliefs to do with money. But, we can have what's called a financial sort of thermostat, which means that we think that we're able to earn a certain amount or have a certain amount in the bank, and we tend to sort of just stick to that. That's our sort of ceiling, if you like. And if we ever sort of then consciously we may sort of want to do better, we may want to earn more. But if our sort of subconscious limiting belief or our financial thermostat is at a certain level of pay per annum, if you start to make more than that, you may sabotage yourself to stay within that level of earnings. It's really, really interesting. And that can come from limiting beliefs with money. It can come with, not believing that you're worthy of earning more money. It can also be sometimes to do with not wanting to earn more money than your family or your father maybe, because you just want to sort of be accepted and be loved, and you don't want to upset that person. So money limiting beliefs can be for all sorts of reasons, but again, we can sabotage ourselves with our financial lives as well, and also with our health. And this is a bit more controversial, but sometimes we can cause ourselves to be ill. I had a client who was frightened of public speaking, and every time she had the opportunity to get over her fear and give a presentation or a talk, she would get ill the week before and not be able to prepare, and sometimes not be able to do the talk at all, and that's another sort of way of it would be a flu or I think once it was tonsillitis or something like that. So sometimes that block is there, and we sabotage our success in that way. So consciously she wanted to be a good public speaker, she wanted to get on in her career and give good presentations, but there was a negative limiting belief there, that it was too frightening, and that she would be exposed and be too visible, and she might mess it up. So that sabotage came in of her getting ill and avoiding doing it. Another thing that I've come across with sabotage is, when you're changing habits. So for example, if you're wanting to reduce weight, and sometimes there are reasons that weight, the brain sort of decided that you need that weight there. I've come across this a few times with clients who want to lose weight, and have tried all sorts of things, but the weight just comes back on, or they can't shift it. And sometimes there is a block there, not always, but it can be abuse in the past, and wanting to have that extra layer to protect themselves. Sometimes it can be if they were hurt when they were a child in some way, and when you're a child you're not able to defend yourself, you're small, you're little, right? So with one client once, there was something where she kept the weight on because she needed to, when she was younger, she wanted to be big, she was wishing to be big so that she could protect herself, and the subconscious holds on to that belief and kept the weight on. So it's so interesting, but it's all about finding the root of self-sabotage, and then you can, once you find the sort of root or the reason that it's there, then you can start to change it. So some other ways that we can sabotage ourselves: we can procrastinate, we can make excuses, we can play the victim, push people away, We can distract ourselves or numb ourselves with, too much Netflix or drinking, alcohol or drugs. There are many ways that we can sabotage ourselves. And I'm really interested in you. Have you noticed any patterns of self-sabotage in yourselves, and how did you deal with them? So just comment in the boxes below. It'd be nice to hear from you and your point of view as well. So what can we do to stop this self-sabotage in our lives? So the first thing to do is to notice when you do it. Notice the pattern and where and when in your life you stop yourself. And the next step is to ask yourself, what are you really afraid about here? What are you afraid of losing? If you do achieve this goal, what are you afraid of losing in your life? And what are the secondary gains or benefits of staying stuck? Be honest with yourself. Is it that you stay in your comfort zone? It's sort of safe. You avoid getting hurt. You stay mediocre. So get to the core belief here. And then when you get to that core belief, then also ask yourself, what is it costing you to stay stuck? And then with the core belief, the core limiting belief or fear, what you would do is challenge it. So I would run it through this tool, the limiting belief challenge tool that I talk about in this video here. So I would run that limiting belief or fear through this process. And what it does is it will help you to challenge the belief and come up with a more alternative, positive belief so that you can move forwards. The next step is to create a goal, something clear that will help you to realize that you've overcome self-sabotage. So it could be, what you've been trying to do and then self-sabotage stops you. So write a clear goal. So it might be, finishing a project, finishing writing your book. It could be having a healthy, happy relationship. It might be, reducing your weight or changing a habit. But write a clear goal so that when you've achieved that, you will know that you have beaten the self-sabotage. And the last step is to write down your triggers. So what are the triggers that normally cause you to start self-sabotaging? So write them all down. And then write down what you do. What do you do when you sabotage yourself? So what are the actions or inactions or behaviours that you do? For each one, think of an alternative behaviour or action or inaction, that you would do to prevent yourself from self-sabotaging yourself. So write an alternative down for each one. So for example, if it's a relationship and you worry about getting hurt, and at a certain point in the relationship you start to get really insecure, you start to be argumentative, you start to disappear, not answer your phone. If you know that there's a certain stage in relationships, normally a pattern, you could think about communicating with your partner or with somebody else, that this normally happens and you want to act differently in the future and in this particular relationship. And even just sort of confiding in somebody or asking for support or talking to your partner about this, if he or she is supportive and understands, that in itself might heal this trigger and stop you from sabotaging at that point. At least it allows you to feel more relaxed and feel calmer, and then you're able to then sort of make better decisions, because when you're calm you can think clearly and rationally. So think of an alternative to the actions that you normally do that sabotage you or your relationships. So the first step with changing any behaviour is awareness. So I hope that, if you've identified any patterns in yourself, that you will then use those other steps that I talked about to really challenge the fears that are beneath the self-sabotage and just help you to change your behaviour, change your thoughts around it and move forwards. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and it helped you. And I've also created a free bonus, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video, which is a powerful hypnosis audio MP3. Now, hypnosis works directly into the subconscious. So it helps to, change, rewire the thought processes there. So it helps with confidence, with self-belief and self-worth and self-esteem. And that will help you to change behaviours and to stop self-sabotage. So if you would like a copy of this great, powerful MP3, please click the link in the description below and you'll get your copy. So I hope you liked this video, and if you found it helpful, please do give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. When you subscribe to my channel, it supports it, and so these videos will get shown to more people and help more people. And please do share this with anyone that you think would benefit. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching and being with me and spending your time with me today. And until the next time, when I see you on my next video, hopefully, take care of yourself.